Hey friends, it's Silver and we are here to stop things today.
Gotta say, that's a little creepy, Doc. Waking up to you standing over me. You been watching me sleep?
We're always watching you. Now get up. We've got a lot of work to do.
Ooh, wonder who I get to kill today.
Don't be so cavalier. Your ancestors almost had the right idea, Mr. Miles. If the deaths of a few people, evil people, no less, could save the lives of thousands more, well, it seems a small sacrifice.
What do you mean, almost?
They didn't go far enough. To use a rather tired analogy, corruption is no different than cancer. Cut out the tumors, but fail to treat the source and, well, you're buying time at best. There's no true change to be had without comprehensive, systemic intervention.
Chemo for the masses.
Education, re-education, to be more precise. But it's not easy, and it doesn't always take.
Let me guess. You've got a better solution. What is it then?
Now that would be telling.
This is why nobody likes the Templars. So, story time. I had this video all the way completely ready to go, and then I accidentally deleted everything because, you know, that's typical for my life. But it worked out for the best because I think this time it will be better. I'm a lot more comfortable with the video software. So, yeah, we're gonna stab, and it's gonna be a good time. So, here we go, Desmond getting in the Animus again. Gonna switch over to Altair, our baby, our boy. And we are gonna hunt down some Templars. Here we go.
I am alive. But I saw you stab me. Felt death's embrace.
You saw what I wanted you to see, and then you slept the sleep of the dead, of the womb, that you might awake and be reborn.
To what end?
Do you remember, Altair, what it is the assassin fight for?
Peace. In all things.
Yes, in all things. It is not enough to end the violence one man commits upon another. It refers to peace within as well. You cannot have one without the other.
So it is said.
So it is! But you, my son, have not found inner peace. It manifests in ugly ways. You are arrogant and overconfident.
Were you not the one to say that nothing is true and everything is permitted?
You do not understand the true meaning of the phrase, my child. It does not grant you the freedom to do as you wish. It is a knowledge meant to guide your senses. It expects a wisdom you clearly lack.
Then what is to become of me?
I should kill you for the pain you've brought upon us. Malik thinks it only fair. Your life in exchange for his brother's. But this would be a waste of my time and your talents. You'll see you have been stripped of your possessions, your rank as well. You are a novice, a child once more, as you were on the day you first joined our order. I am offering you a chance at redemption. You'll earn your way back into the Brotherhood.
I assume you've something planned.
First, you must prove to me you remember how to be an assassin.
So you'd have me take a life?
No, not yet at least. For now, you're to become a student once again.
There is no need for this.
Others tracked your targets for you, but no more. From today on, you will track them yourself.
If this is what you wish.
It is.
Then tell me what it is that I must do.
We have been betrayed. Someone was assisting Robert de Sable, one of our own.
Wow, I wonder
You
who...
must find him and bring him here for questioning.
What can you tell me of the traitor?
Ah, but that's just it. I've given you all I will. The rest is up to you.
Oh no, I lost everything. I don't even have my hidden blade. I can't tackle people. I can't climb things. This does not make sense, but it's fine. I'll be fine. Can I run yet?
do. Look, a flag. I'm gonna get it. Flag. Oh.
Someone tell me why he's doing that.
Nope.
Safety and peace, Altair.
You're in my way.
Yes, Al-Mualim has asked that I assist you. Remind you how it is we hunt our prey.
I know how it works.
Be that as it may, I have no desire to disobey.
Then be quick.
The Assassin have many tools at their disposal.
Yes, yes. We can eavesdrop, we can pickpocket, or we can use violence to intimidate.
Good, you remember.
So you'd have me walk amongst the others and learn what I can about the traitor.
Yes. Begin by going to the village market. That's where we first spotted the traitor.
You know who it is?
Perhaps.
Then give me a name and let's be done with it.
That's not the way it works. Now go. And remember, begin your search in the village market.
I absolutely love Altair's character arc in this story. So he became an assassin, a master assassin at a fairly young age. Not sure exactly how old that is. I looked it up. He's about 25, so about the same age as Desmond is in this game. But he starts out just so awful, so cocky, so bratty, such a know-it-all, very entitled, and his journey through this game is just great. I love character development. I'm a writer, so like, this is what I live for. And to see him grow into what he becomes, which is like a legend in the Assassin Brotherhood forever and ever and ever, like, it's huge. And I love redeemable characters for the mistakes that he made and him being able to come out of that, like,
Jar carriers can easily break your cover.
I just really love it. All I'm going to tell you guys is how much I love this game, with like the one or two things that I don't like, but like right now, Altair is amazing, and that's all I have to say for you. Right now he's been demoted down to a novice, which is hilarious, but the funniest part is that I don't know how to climb things anymore, and I'm not sure his mind would receive like that. But anyways, we're just gonna keep rambling for a minute while we look around for this traitor. We're gonna do some eavesdropping, dropping of eaves, and yeah, we're gonna do that, and it's gonna be a great time. And I don't really have much to say. I did work on making some scripts for these, so hopefully it's gonna get better as we go. If not, I'm sorry, I have nothing to say to you. You can come here and fight me, but I'll warn you, I do have many hidden blades in my room, so there's that.
I know what I saw. Musul opened the gate. He let the Templars in.
Then you must tell Al-Mualim.
I can't. Masun did not act alone. Someone inside the fortress helped him.
What makes you say this?
He exchanges letters with someone inside. The basket weaver carries them for him.
That's no reason to stay silent.
Ah, but the weaver delivered him a letter just before the attack. I suspect it held the order to open the gate.
Then speak to the Weaver. He can name Masun's accomplice.
He's disappeared, hiding for fear of being dragged into this.
Probably inside one of his own baskets.
So he isn't working alone, this traitor. So now, we're gonna go find the basket weaver and see what he has to offer. But you know, this whole thing is ridiculous because they already know who done it. But Altair is a baby and an idiot, so they have to make him do something. I mean, he did almost get all of them killed. Like, all of that was 100% his fault, please no. But yeah, we're gonna run. Most of this game is just me running around, and from here on out I'll try to cut some of that out for you, but Anyways, here we go. Pretty sure this is him right here, so let's see what he has.
Please, just one. We lost everything in the attack and have no place to store our grain.
I can't right now. I'm busy.
Is this about the letter?
What letter?
The letter you received when I got here. Bad news?
I don't know what you're talking about. Listen, I'll see what I can do, but please, I need to be alone right now. Come back later.
As you wish.
And then we get to pickpocket stuff, and I like pickpocketing. And I don't think you really pickpocket in like the most recent games. Like after Syndicate, I think. They don't really have you do it anymore. Maybe it's still a thing, and I'm just the worst, and instead of, you know, stealthily taking what I need, I just kill the people and loot their bodies. But that's not an option in this game. That's not an option till the next game, because, you know, there's no money system, so there's really nothing to loot. You can only steal from people to get throwing knives, which are important, which are huge. I live on the throwing knives. I can't wait until I get my throwing knives back. But either that, or you pickpocket them for like the information they have to track down your targets. Anyways, it's a good time. But yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to loot bodies, but I do appreciate the pickpocketing aspect of this game because it's fun. And I like stealing things. My inner rogue is coming out.
Today's attack was but the first, and more will follow unless you repent. Give up your wicked ways. Rise up against the madman of Masyav. See through his lies.
And now we're gonna follow this man to a secluded area and punch the heck out of him. Yeah. But this is the only one that I'm really not good at as far as like the side quests that lead you into like the main person you're trying to kill, your main target, because I'm really bad at combat in these games. Like if you can remember how to do the combos, it's perfect, but most of the time I wait like a week between playing and then I come back and I'm like, I only know how to press X and that's it, and I have no idea how to stay alive, so I'm just gonna hope I survive and not desynchronize. So it's fine. We're gonna practice some more before I record again because I played a little bit last night and I was super bad, let me tell you. And I'd rather you guys think I'm better at this game.
Enough! I yield! I yield!
Speak quickly then. I've no interest in your games. Why did you betray us? And who do you serve?
We serve the Templars. You should too. Their cause is just.
We?
Jamal. He told me of their plans. Asked me to open the gate.
You betrayed us. We, who called you brother and kept you safe from harm.
I did what I believed was right. And if you must kill me for it, so be it. I am not afraid to die.
Your fate is not for me to decide. It's Al-Muallim who will judge.
Fast-forwarding memory to a more recent one.
You stand accused of betraying our Brotherhood and opening the way for our enemies. How do you answer to these charges?
I deny nothing. I'm proud of what I did. My only regret is that they failed.
I offer you a chance to repent, to renounce the evil in your heart.
It is not evil in my heart, but truth. I will not repent.
Then you will die.
Wow.
You did well, Altair, and have earned the right to carry a blade once more.
What will become of the one who helped him?
It remains to be seen. Some do ill out of ignorance or fear. These men can be saved. Others suffer from corrupted wills, their minds poisoned and twisted. These men must be destroyed. Soon enough, we'll know what sort of man Jamal is.
I've passed your test then. What now?
Oh, my child. We've only just begun. I hold here a list. 9 names adorn it. 9 men who need to die. They are plague bringers, war makers. Their power and influence corrupts the land and ensures the Crusades continue. You will find them. Kill them. In doing so, you'll sow the seeds of peace, both for the region and for yourself. In this way, you might be redeemed.
9 lives in exchange for mine.
A most generous offer, I think. Have you any questions?
Only where I need begin.
Very well. Ride for Damas. Seek out the black market merchant named Tamir. Let him be the first to fall. Be sure to visit the city's assassin bureau when you arrive. I'll dispatch a bird to inform the Rafik of your arrival. Speak with him. You'll find he has much to offer.
If you believe it best.
I do. Besides, you cannot begin your mission without his consent.
What nonsense is this? I don't need his permission. It's a waste of time.
It's the price you pay for the mistakes you've made. You answer not only to me, but all the Brotherhood as well now.
So be it.
Take your equipment and go. Prove that you are not yet lost to us.
Yay, we have our hidden blade back. I'm so excited. And our sword. We've got 2 weapons. That's exciting. So this video is a lot shorter than the first version that I made, just because the last one was so long and I was trying so hard to cut stuff out and I felt like I was cutting out stuff that I didn't really want to cut out. So you're just gonna get more from me, because I'm sure that's what everybody wants, is more of me. You don't have to be honest. Don't tell me the truth about that. Just let me pretend. Yeah, anyways.
It seems my students do not fully understand what it is to wield a blade. Perhaps you could show them what you know.
You bet.
Perfect. The work of a master. And that, my students, is how we all should fight.
Now, while I was playing, I realized that this is the only game that I really don't know a lot of history for. Like, most of the other games are things that I was either previously interested in and had studied up on, or things that I had, like, learned in school, but the Crusades was never really one of them. And I'm sure I would have learned more if I'd paid attention when I was playing through it the first time, but I wasn't paying attention. So, you know, there's that. But while I had some downtime at work the other day, and then this morning as well, I went through and did some actual research on the time period and some of the key historical figures that, you know, are in this game. And I actually did learn a lot. That's how they get you every time with Assassin's Creed, is that you think you're there to kill things, but you're really there to learn history. It's a trap, and I fall for it every time. Anyways, so I'm gonna just share with y'all what I learned, because it'll help with, you know, with the game. And having that background context of what has happened and what's going to happen, you know, that foreshadowing, it makes the game so much more enjoyable. So when I was playing through some more of the game for, you know, future videos the other night, I was running around in Jerusalem. We're not there yet, but running around through Jerusalem, and you get to hear the crowds yelling and talking and all this propaganda is going on. And as I was running through, all of a sudden I just stopped and I was like, wait a minute, I know these names, I know these people, I know exactly what they're talking about because I know what's going on. And it feels so cool. So my recommendation is to do a little bit of research into the time period before you start the games, for each game. Not a ton, it doesn't have to be a lot, but just so you kind of know, like, it's a good feeling to be able to pick that stuff out. So, let's see. So the Crusades started in hang on. I wrote it down. Anyways, the Crusades started like 100 years before Altair was even born, and they continued for close to, I think, 50 years after he died or something like that. So he was born in the middle of this. So this game actually takes place during the Third Crusade, which began in 1189 and ended in 1192. So this game takes place between 1190 and 1191. So this crusade lasted for like a whole whopping 3 years. The objective of the campaign was to reclaim Jerusalem, which had fallen back under Muslim rule 2 or 3 years before the crusade started. This crusade was also called the King's Crusade because it was led by 3 European monarchs. So there was Frederick I Barbarossa, who was the King of Germany and the Emperor of Holy Rome, which I read that and all I could think of was Italia, but I don't think that's relevant right now. And then there was also Philip II of France, and then Richard I of England, who was Richard the Lionheart. So, like, that's pretty cool. So they were trying to take back Jerusalem from, I want to make sure I pronounce his name right, but I'm pretty sure it's Saladin is how they pronounce it in the game. Always trust the games for pronunciation because they usually do a better job. Anyway, so they were trying to take the city back. Here's the funny thing. They never even made it to Jerusalem. Like, they did not complete what they set out to do. And there was a lot of stuff that factored into that. Starting with one of the kings dying before he even reached the Holy Land. And that was Frederick. So on his way there with his army, he drowned by either falling off his horse or having a heart attack while he was swimming. He just died. Anyways, and then after he died, his army had an outbreak of dysentery, and all of them either died or just went home. Like, what? I don't even understand. So there were a few German troops that made it to the Crusades, but really not a lot. So from the start, the Crusaders are already down one army. And I don't know. I just thought it was really funny. It's probably not, but like, he just died. And he drowned. Can you imagine just falling off your horse and drowning? Or like, the king's out there taking a swim and all of a sudden just drowns? Anyways, so we just have 2 kings, Richard and Philip. So they came to the Holy Land by sea with their armies. So Richard did stop and make a few conquests along the way. But they arrived in the Middle East. So we've got 2 out of 3 armies, and they all show up and they're gonna lay siege on Acre, which is one of the cities on the coast. And so this city had already been under siege for a while by a French army, which was led by this guy named Guy. That was his name. His name was Guy. So he was having a hard time with this, though, because Saladin, who was the king of Jerusalem at the time, the one who had taken over the city of Jerusalem, he'd sent his army to help Acre out because they'd been under siege for quite some time by the time Richard and Philip arrived. So it was the beginning of 1191. New European forces arrived, and they were ready to take the city. So Richard shows up, takes charge, wins the battle within like 5 weeks, while Guy had been at it for like 20 weeks already. So yeah, he did a good thing. King Richard the Lionheart, what what a good guy. Psych, he executed 2,500 prisoners for reasons. Those reasons being that the ransoms he asked for hadn't been paid fast enough for these people. And also, he just figured that if he let them go, eventually they would join up with the enemy armies, like, sooner or later. Still not a good move, bro. Like, killed his reputation. So yeah. And then after they won the siege of Acre, then Philip had to go home because he had some political issues. People were trying to take over his kingdom, you know. It happens when you're a king. You gotta make sure you stay king. So he left. So we started out with 3 kings. Now we're down to 1, but arguably he was the best as far as, like, commanding, leading the army, even though he was kind of a jerk. So he and his troops started marching out. They ran into some of Saladin's troops along the way, and they had to deal with taking fire from them. Kind of got into a skirmish there. So they were marching along the coast so that they could only be attacked from one side. And they were being fired on by, like, archers and javelin throwers and things like that. And finally they let out their cavalry and pushed the Muslims back into the forest. So even though they won the battle, technically, this little battle that they had, the Muslims honestly didn't really lose a lot. They just kind of pulled back because they didn't want to be trampled by horses. So Richard wanted to go to Egypt first, but all of the Crusaders were like, no, let's go straight to Jerusalem. That's why we're here. Let's do it. We can do it. We just won this other battle. And Richard was like, okay, fine. So they started towards Jerusalem. But they were going really slow because they were stopping to capture, like, strategic places, like important castles and supply lines, and it was really, really slow trying to get there. That, and there was wet weather that they were trying to go through, and they just were not making any progress. They were running out of supplies. They came within, like, 19, 20 miles of the city, and they just never made it. So by the time they were that close, they could see it. But they knew, so Richard knew that they couldn't take the city with what they had left. They didn't have enough supplies. They might be able to maybe take the city, you know, after another siege like they had done at Acre. But while they did have enough supplies that they could hunker down and lay siege to the city, they weren't going to be able to take any counterattacks that Saladin sent at them. So they kind of were at this stalemate, and then basically it was at this point that the crusade was abandoned. Richard had to go home anyways because he had people who were back home that were trying to take over his throne or whatever political crap as one gets when they're king of England. So yeah, so they just kind of, like, didn't ever take Jerusalem back. They did negotiate with Saladin at the end of the crusade. So in the end, the Crusaders had to take apart one of their fortresses. They did get to keep a section of land around Acre. But then the most important thing that they got out of this was ensuring the safe treatment of Christian pilgrims to the Holy Land, which was honestly the reason that the Crusades started in the first place. Was that there were all these Christian pilgrims that were trying to go visit the Holy Lands, and they were getting a lot of really bad treatment, which, you know, obviously the solution to that is to send armies in. But anyways, so that for me feels like a huge win. But that's just me. Anyways, there was a fourth crusade that started about, like, a decade later, but no army after this point ever got as close to Jerusalem as Richard did. So he was the last person to get close to Jerusalem for the crusades. And after that, I didn't really do any research because it's not relevant to this game. And most of what I told you is also not relevant to this game. You'll just hear people talking about Saladin and King Richard. You'll hear people screaming at you in French if you go anywhere near Acre, which we will have to do eventually, and it's a scary place. I don't like going to Acre. It's dark, it's gloomy, it's gross. I don't like it. I prefer going to Jerusalem or Damascus. pretty cities, very nice. Jerusalem's probably my favorite. I like being there. But yeah, that's kind of all you need to know for historical context of this game. Hopefully you learned something, because I definitely did. Yeah, I've still got a little bit left of this video, and you're probably tired of listening to me talk and just watching me run around. I'm gonna try and cut out as much of the me running around as I can, because that's like most of the game. So in the next video, it's mostly just gonna be all the cutscenes, a little bit of me running around, a little bit of me talking, and then yeah, so we're gonna go. We're gonna go. I know this video was not super exciting, so sorry about that. It's just me. You have to listen to my voice, my tired voice, as I'm just chilling here in bed in my pajamas at noon. But good news, you won't have to listen to me as much next time. You'll get to hear Altair instead, him being grumpy and stuff. Actually, he doesn't really talk very much in the next game, but yeah, anyway, so we're almost to Damascus, and I'm gonna leave all of getting into the city and tracking down our target for the next video, because it's kind of long, and I did it in a bizarre order, which I'm fixing for future playthroughs, so you guys, it's not as choppy for you guys, because I'm bad at this, as you can probably tell. You've already watched me desynchronize a few times. I will desynchronize many more times after this, and it's fine, everything's fine. Like I said at the beginning, I'm not good. But this is as good as it gets. So just wait till you see me playing Odyssey. Like, I am literally a god in that game, but right now we are just a novice assassin who can do nothing, who doesn't even have throwing knives. And I want my throwing knives, but that's for a later time. For now, we're gonna ride to Damascus and get going, and we're just gonna keep stabbing things until we can stab things as Vikings, and that's the plan. So I hope y'all have a great day and enjoyed this, and continue to enjoy it. I'm awkward, and we're here.